the world, represent everyone as you and I verse. So we're going to do a video on the moon in Gemini with the sun in Pisces, right? So the moon in Gemini being mutable air, being able to adapt to your way of thinking and communicating and reacting and responding to thinking and communicating. And others ways of thinking and communicating you feel comfortable reacting and responding to thinking and communicating. And on the sun, you'd be taking action upon your dreamlike expression. So like mutable water, being able to adapt to other people's ways of emotions and taking action upon that. So this would be a time of learning how to think and communicate more upon your dreams, and think and communicate upon your dreams, and be more on the Gemini side. You'd be emotionally learning how to feel more. You know what I'm saying? You're taking action upon that. And then with the sun side, you'd be learning how to communicate more on whenever you take action upon those dreams. You know what I'm saying? Those mutable water aspects of being able to adapt to others' emotions. You know what I'm saying? So you'd be able to think and communicate better with others. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna do a little music and then we go get into the little video. Do what I'm saying? I got flunked out. You know what I'm saying? I had to delete the last live because I done flunked out. You know what I'm saying? I was doing it the opposite way around. My mom was in a whole hazed out space, flunked out space. Because the first house, I was breaking it down like as if Pisces was Virgo and it would be the square of the fourth house. But hey, that's all behind us. You dig what I'm saying? We're gonna get into it on this video and we're gonna get it right. You know what I'm saying? Dig what I'm saying? So bear with me real quick and then we get the music started and then we're gonna hop into that. Dig what I'm saying? So I got the mic so I could get used to performing with the microphone. Dig what I'm saying? What do you see in the mirror? What do you see in the mirror? Inferior clash from the past. Mortalize what you find. Lies in tune with the mind. Lion heart, finite, what I spark. Define this art. You can cry till your tears are crystallized. Pineal calcified, mouth is dry. Motor function moving slower. From a dream at the matrix to methamphetamine. Many face guard, manifold. Father like Carter.
What do you see when you're looking at me?
What do you see? What do you see? What do you see when you're looking at me? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see when you're looking at me?
Many face guard,
Lana Carter, on boy, father like Carter will be. 4, 5, 6, straight to the hips, magnet. Keep my kids swimming down south. Probably say fuck the Fed in the drought. I need a monument. Monumental. Ah! No stains like brushing your teeth. In the mind. Use some other earth like a prostitute.
what do you
See when you're looking at me? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see when you're looking at me? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see when you're looking at me? A prostitute. What they institute. Top of heads. It's like a candle, right? Hate to see. Even hatred free. She lick it though. Leaning tower, you still babbling. Like a star from Galilee. Or around. When she ovulate. Now it's fuck rap, hip hop, moving massacre. Moment, the future in like Raven. Zoning on the Zohan. Ha. Like Heracles, movement, top of heads. Monumental, it's monumental. Monumental, it's monumental. Vindictive and vicious, in a stream full of vixens. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, did a little intro so y'all could jump in the little live stream and then get hit with the whole channel. You dig what I'm saying? So the moon in Gemini is being able to adapt to your ways of thinking and communicating emotionally. So whenever you have an emotion, and you're gonna think and communicate about it, and that'd be on the higher octave. You feel like so communicating is kind of like that higher octave for the Gemini energy, and actually getting what they're actually thinking out. It's just a conscious stream of consciousness, so to speak. And then with the Sun in Pisces, though, you're going to be implementing your way of learning how to have that stream of consciousness about not maybe, but about your dreams, and learning how to communicate more about your dreams and think more about your dreams, and actually sufficiently act upon what you want to take part of in your dreams. You know what I'm saying? So communicating about the right things to actually have the dreams be enacted, so to speak. Just think about it like you're the director, and you want everybody in your movie to actually play the right part, so to speak. This would be communicating about the right things to actually get the right part played. So with the moon in Gemini in the natal chart, this would be an individual that feels comfortable reacting and responding to thinking and communicating, and they'd rather actually talk about their emotions than just sit there and feel about them. And once they can actually get to that higher octave space, and they say, oh, okay, what I'm actually communicating about is my actual emotions, and I feel comfortable speaking on it, and this will bring to that higher octave. So what you got going on in your thought process brings you to an emotional space, and then you communicate about it with that Gemini energy. So you're in this one space emotionally, and then boom, you're actually in that other space whenever you communicate about it. So it's like two different things. It kind of creates a lighter space, that air energy. And due to that, you're gonna have a square though. There'll be a 90-degree angle between the moon in Gemini and the sun in Pisces within the transiting chart now. So within the transiting chart, you're gonna be um, thinking and communicating emotionally. So I'm saying, but you're going to be acting upon your mutable water, being able to adapt to another person's emotions. So instead of just being all the way lightened up square, so you're going to be learning how to be more adapted to other people's emotions upon what you communicate. So whatever you communicate emotionally, you actually want to bring that to the higher octave and say like, I was here in my emotions, and I actually want to take my dreams, my emotions here. This is my where I could see this in my imagination. This is my illusion that I'm creating in the mind, so to speak, and where my emotions are taking me, and this is my line of reasoning, so to speak, and this is where I actually want to communicate more about my dreams. So it's like being able to kind of put your emotions in the right space to adapt them to your dreams. You know what I'm saying? So like actually bring that to fruition. So like I say with the director analogy, you have this illusion, you have this movie that's played out in your mind. You maybe even written down the script, everything. So now you actually have a way of getting across what you want to be said. And you say, hey, look, read the script and then actually be able to say all the lines perfectly, and then we'll see if you're actually able to be in the movie. And then boom. Um, this would be the director think and communicate sufficiently to actually play out the dream, an illusion that was in their mind. So then, boom, within the first house, this would be personality, individual. This is the first house, so like represents your personality, your first impression, and your personal affairs. And then you have the 10th house, where the Pisces is at. This would be your status, your blueprint. So the way that you enact, the way that you think and communicate upon your emotions personally, your personal emotions, then that then brings a status towards your dreams. You know what I'm saying? So like whatever illusion that you're creating creates a status in your actions due to the way that you're personally feeling. So I'm saying, so this is a time to learn more about how to um, enact your emotions towards your status. So take action upon what the dream can actually, what dream is most beneficial towards your thoughts. So whatever thought process is bringing you the most beneficial space in your status and your blueprint, personally, like whatever you feel most personally comfortable with then that's actually becomes your status, and then boom, you're able to bring the to a higher octave space. So you're able to actually to think and communicate about your status and what you got going on in that dream and illusion realm. And then the lower octave would be being uncomfortable with thinking and communicating about your personal affairs. So due to that, you have a status that you actually are in just an illusion. You're in this certain status that you believe that you're projecting, so to speak, and then it actually is a different perception for others emotionally. So I'm saying it's like the way that you're putting your emotions out in the 10th house, the way that you're enacting your status, due to your way of personally feeling and your way of thinking about those emotions, it actually brings you to a lower octave space. So then to rectify this, you want to see what you feel most comfortable personally and your most what personal affair that you can think about more to enact this better status. So to bring yourself to a better way of creating a better blueprint, so to speak, or your social media presence. Like you have a different, you have this other way of thinking and communicating about this immutable way of adapting to like, oh wait, actually how I want to project myself in the 10th house. Due to that, I have this way of personally feeling. I need to rectify that. So the way I feel about my personal self, I need to think and communicate better to myself. So I'm saying, so then I can actually have a better status. So then with the Gemini in the second house, this would be a value of a person, place, or a thing, or an idea. So with the Gemini energy, this would be a mutable way of communicating, air, and thinking. And you're valuing your ways of thinking and communicating. So with that being said, this will be a square to your 11th house. Yeah, the 11th house with Pisces. So the things that you value and the way you're valuing the way that you communicate and the way you feel about your communication, it actually creates this association, this association that you believe that you're a part of, and it could either be on a dreamlike association for the higher octave, or in a nightmare-like association for the lower octave, with the Gemini energy here. So like the things that you value and communicate about actually bring you to a lower octave. So then you actually kind of get in fights with your group, so to speak. Like everybody actually is in a different perspective, and the way that they actually feel upon what's being taken action upon the group brings it's like a lower octave space. So to rectify it, if you're in the lower octave with the moon in Gemini, so you're valuing this certain way of thinking and communicating emotionally, and you have these thoughts that bring you to a lower depressive space. It'll bring you to this depressive group. So you want to be around more people and take action upon a group that actually you can associate with a better dream. So like your group is bringing your illusion that you dreamt about, and you're like, oh, this is beautiful. I love everything about this, magical, so to speak. That's that Pisces energy. So this, you want to learn how to value better things, and then due to that, be a part of a better group due to the things that you value. And then boom, with you'd be on the higher octave with the second house. So the things that you value and communicate about, bring you to this emotional space that you feel comfortable with, actually being in your associative group and taking action in your group. And then with the third house in Gemini, and then the 12th house in Pisces, this would be thinking and communicating in your environment. So this would be feeling comfortable in the higher octave, thinking and communicating within your environment, and due to that, you're having these dreams and illusions about the environment, and you're taking action upon these dreams and illusions. And with that being said, the dreams and illusions that you're taking part in is actually bringing you to this environment and this emotional space upon your environment. So your thoughts about thinking on your thought process within the environment will bring you to the higher octave, and you actually communicate within your environment upon your dreams. In the lower octave, you feel uncomfortable about your environment, so you don't actually want to communicate about your dreams. and you don't actually want to adapt to the other emotions that you have, and you don't want other people to adapt to your own emotions, so to speak. So it's kind of like the give and take energy with the Pisces energy in the 12th house. So like people around you in your environment feel comfortable communicating about their dreams, taking action in that. And you also feel comfortable about taking action in that due to the moon in Gemini. So that communication energy. And then with the moon in Gemini for the 4th house, this would be the square to your first house. So the way of taking action in your personal life will be a square to your 4th house, so your home and your private natures and your heart space. So if you feel more comfortable communicating about your heart, you'll feel comfortable taking action in your part in like the things that are in your personal life, so to speak. Like if you stay in your heart and what's actually personal to you, then your actual heart space will be a good little square. So you'll be able to think and communicate what's close to you. So I'm saying close to your heart and your family, so to speak. And due to you having that personal connection with your personal affairs, like maybe your family, you live with your family, so to speak. This would be a time to learn how to communicate more with your family about your personal affairs. You know what I'm saying? Take action upon your personal affairs and communicate about that with your family and bring you to that higher octave of being able to communicate with that within your, communicate your heart space, communicate with your family, communicate what's private to you. In the lower octave, you feel uncomfortable communicating about what's in your heart space and what's private to you. And due to that, you have this personal affair that you seem like, I don't know, this person seems to have been an illusion. I don't know if we can actually talk to them. They might just be triggered about what we're talking about in this particular moment. So with this, just don't be triggered upon what you're taking action with personally. Just accept yourself. You might be in an illusionary state whenever you're doing this, but take action upon it, and you'll feel more comfortable actually talking to your family about what you got going on, so to speak. And that'll be the first step. And then the second step will actually be taking action upon your personal affairs and those heart space emotions that are aren't easy to think about and deal with, so to speak. So that's to get to that higher octave. You want to deal with it more. And then with the Gemini in the 5th house, this would be a square to the Pisces in the 2nd house. So your way of feeling about your expression and your way of communicating in your expression, you feel comfortable communicating about your expression. And due to that, you take action upon what you value and your dreamlike an association, not an association, your dreamlike and illusions and nightmares. So you have this value system of valuing your dreams. So you would take action with the Pisces energy on the mutable water, being able to adapt to your ways of valuing your emotions and your emotional space. So you'll be able to adapt to other people's values and take action upon those values. You know what I'm saying, with the 2nd house, and then you'll be able to actually express your way of feeling about what you've actually expressed and taken action upon your values. So your way of thinking and communicating about your expression will be in a way that you actually value. You know what I'm saying? You actually value taking action upon that expression. You know what I'm saying? And your way of thinking about your expression. So yeah, and then with the 6th house in Gemini, and then the 3rd house in Pisces, this would be feeling comfortable with your routine and pattern and thinking and communicating about your routine and pattern. Pardon me. And then with the lower octave of the 5th house and Gemini would be you feel uncomfortable reacting and responding to what you actually express. So due to that, you're in a illusory state about your values. So you don't actually know what you to value. So to rectify that with the moon, Gemini in the 5th house, be react and respond more to your expression. So express yourself more and find out what your actual value system is, and be in less of an illusory state and find out like, okay, maybe this is a nightmarish state, but I could transform it to a dream. Now, boom, that'd be key for you here. And then boom, with the moon and Gemini in the 6th house, like I say, this would be that routine and pattern and your health. So with the moon in Gemini here, you'll be able to communicate more about your routine and pattern and feel comfortable reacting and responding to your what you're communicating within your routine and pattern. And then your third house, your environment, you feel mutable water. And pardon me, you would take action upon mutable water. So being able to adapt to other people's ways of um, ways of emotions. Pardon me, water. I'm flunked out right now. I don't know why I'm so flunked out. But yeah, the fucking third house. This would be immutable water, being able to adapt to other people's ways of other people's emotions and ways of feeling. So it'd be the dream, illusion, and nightmare as well, because it's that Pisces energy. So like it'd be on the higher octave, you're in the environment you're taking action in. As a good routine and pattern. So you have a good routine and pattern upon the environments that you take part in. Lower octave, you feel uncomfortable with the routine and pattern that you're taking part in. So then you have a difficult space to deal with whenever you're actually in your environment. So you want to get to the higher octave, you want to rectify your routine and pattern, and be in a better place at a better space and time. Then with the moon and Gemini in the seventh house, this would be the square to the fourth house. So learning how to relate to your the way that you take action in your home, in your private space. So feeling more comfortable reacting and responding to your relationship on the higher octave, you feel comfortable relating to other people about the ways of feeling about the way things that you communicate and think about. And then with the fourth house, you feel comfortable. Pardon me. You take action in your home, and you actually communicate about your relationship and this, that, and the third, and you communicate about what's in your heart, so to speak. And you take action upon the other people's ways of emotions, also in their heart space. So you're able to communicate, on both sides, so to speak. In your relationship, about your relationship, about their relationship, and your interconnected relationship within each other due to maybe even being related because it's a fourth house space. And then with the moon in Pisces, pardon me, moon in Gemini with the eighth house, this would be behind the scenes secrets and sacred matters. So you feel comfortable communicating about what's sacred to you, and you feel comfortable about thinking about what's going on behind the scenes on the higher octave. You feel uncomfortable reacting and responding to what's going on behind the scenes emotionally in your thought pattern. And then with the fifth house, this would be that square to it. So what you have going on behind the scenes in your eighth house, your thought pattern, it would be then taking action in your expression in your fifth house of Pisces of immutable water, being able to adapt to an expression. So your expression is adaptable. Other people can adapt to your ways of expression because of you've done the shadow work behind the scenes of your thought patterns in the mind and things like this and the thirds. You actually have a sufficient way of analyzing a circumstance. You see what I'm saying? Eighth house is like that categorization. So you're able to categorize your thought process and actually express yourself within the right context of adapting to another person in their expression. So you're able to both adapt to each other's expression in the fifth house. And be able to see where other people are coming from, the fifth house. And if you're on that lower octave within the eighth house, then you want to get a better thought process behind the scenes, get a better sacred matter. Maybe have a better ritual, so to speak, to actually take part in get some better magic. See what I'm saying? Get a better partner, have that better ritualistic energy going on. You know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm talking about. And then boom, you're gonna have a better way of expressing yourself. You're like, oh, I actually feel comfortable taking part in my my expression, and expressing oneself and taking action upon an expression. And my childlike nature, that fifth house space. So then with the ninth house in Gemini, this would be knowledge, wisdom, and experience in religion, spirituality, ways of traveling within the mind and externally, in actual reality. And then it'd be that square to the sixth house. So what are you taking action? What are you putting on the routine and pattern? And what are you actually going to? Like what do you have scheduled up for that sixth house in Pisces? You know what I'm saying? What emotion are you adapting to at what period of time in that sixth house. So like also it's predicated upon your health. So what knowledge and wisdom do you actually have upon yourself? So I'm saying, do you have that knowledge of self with that Pisces in that sixth house? This is kind of like what you should be paying attention to. Yeah, your health for this 30 days. Um, and your knowledge and wisdom about your health is what you should be getting taking part in emotionally and thinking about for that ninth house. So that higher octave, you feel comfortable um, thinking and communicating about knowledge, wisdom, and spirituality. And due to that, it's you're taking part in a healthy routine and pattern because you're actually a spiritual individual. So I'm saying that's how to get to the higher octave. Is learn more about yourself, and due to that, you're actually going to be able to have a better routine and pattern and put yourself in a better space, the better space and time. So I'm saying. Then with the moon and Gemini in the 10th house, this would be reacting and responding to your status, your blueprint, and things of that nature. Ways of thinking and communicating about your status. And then be that square to the seventh house. So then you're taking part in that relationship. Your way of thinking, pardon me, not thinking and communicating. That'd be that Gemini energy, like I say, that being able to adapt to other people's ways of thinking and communicating. That's that mutable air. Then with the mutable water, they're going to be in the what was that? Damn, I'm flunked out. Fucking the seventh house, yeah. Then with that mutable water in the seventh house, your way of relating to the yeah, mutable water, way of relating and being able to adapt to another's emotional status and an emotional relationship. You see what I'm saying? So like emotions within a relationship, you're able to take action and be more relatable and adaptable whenever you relate to another individual and their actual emotional state. So you're able to have relatable emotions with the seventh house, a relatable, water style. You know what I'm saying? You have a relatable water style. Um, whenever you're in the seventh house, and this will be a time to have that good status because you have that relationship in the 10th house, and you're taking part in that relationship, so you feel comfortable with this with you got what you got going on in your status. You're not in this illusory realm, and you're not like in this thinking, communicating space of like, oh, I don't really know if I'm in this relationship. I might be in an illusion. You know what I'm saying? This is a time to give it your partner. You know what I'm saying? Type thing. If you got the moon in Gemini in the 10th house, and then you have the sun in Pisces right now, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have a partner, this is the time to figure out what status you want to have with what relationship you got going on. You know what I'm saying? That's the way to get to the higher octave. So then with the moon in Gemini in the 11th house, this would be thinking and communicating or mutable air upon your association. So you're able to think and communicate about to your association. You feel comfortable within your association, what you're associated with, what group you're a part of. You feel comfortable relating to that and thinking about that. And then with that being said, it'd be the eighth house in Pisces taking action upon that with the sun here. So you'd be able to learn how to be more um, learn how to be more associative with what you got going on behind the scenes. So bring your associations in to what you actually got going on behind the scenes. Kind of key some more people in. You feel comfortable relating your associations with what you have going on behind the scenes. You're learning how to uh, be more be more ritualistic, so to speak. Like be more in depth with the occult realm. Whenever we got the Pisces in the eighth house, so the Pisces in the eighth house with the sun being here, it'd be taking action upon the behind the scenes and your ways of eighth house and that mutable energy, being able to adapt to ways of emotionally feeling upon what's going on behind the scenes. So like this would be a time to transmute and transform of what you got going on in your dreams, dreams, illusions, and nightmares. So if you have an illusion, this would be a time to transform it. So this would be if you're in an illusion within your groups. You know what I'm saying? You don't actually really know what's going on. You're thinking and communicating, and it's kind of bring you in that loop, and you're like the group that you're in isn't actually benefiting you because what now you need to transform that group. You see what I'm saying? You need to transform what you got going on behind the scenes and see like, oh, okay, this is the time to get rid of all that and actually have that Phoenix rebirth whenever we have the moon. The sun in Aries, and type thing. So one of the steps here would be stop thinking and communicating within that group. So I'm saying get you a better association to associate with, and something to feel more comfortable with association wise. Then it'll start to transform that eighth house, because you've already put death to one thing, and now you want to rebirth another thing. So I'm saying, and with the moon in Pisces, see, I'm flunked out. So I keep on saying it backwards. Then with the moon in Gemini in the 12th house, this would be that square to the ninth house, the sun in Pisces. So this would be thinking and communicating about your dreams, illusions, and nightmares, and learning how to relate your knowledge of wisdom to that. You see what I'm saying? So learning how to take action upon your knowledge of wisdom and your spirituality, and take action upon that, but also feel comfortable with what your thought process upon your dream, and where you actually just see yourself into the illusion that you're in, due to being in this spiritual space. You see what I'm saying? That ninth house can be kind of tricky with the sun being here, because you think about the Gemini energy being here. You could your thought process is in the illusory energy, so it's kind of like the Gemini energy doesn't do well in the 12th house. It's a square naturally to the 12th house. The third house is square to the 12th house, and also the ninth house. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's that Jupiterian versus that Mercurial energy. So this would be like, have more faith and be more faithful upon what you got going on with your ninth house spirituality. And if you feel that the spirituality that you're in, it's just bringing you in a loop de loop, and you're just in a like a spin cycle, and you're not actually going anywhere. You see what I'm saying? Then this would be a time to switch up your dream illusion and nightmare and your thought process upon your dreams. That'll bring you to the higher octave, because that'll switch your morality and your spiritual sense. You know what I'm saying? And where you're at with your spirituality. So yeah, much love and holler back at me. I missed the little moon in Taurus, and the moon in Taurus was having Uranus dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? North and south node type things. Lots of things was going on, but individually, you know what I'm saying? I'd be working on the weekends, so like I'd be kind of like out of energy. You know what I'm saying? So bear with me, and you can just check out like whatever the moon and Taurus, where the Taurus is at in your houses. So I'm saying I have the first to the 12th house Taurus videos for every single house that Taurus could be in. So you can check that out whenever the moon is transiting through that. So yeah, if I miss a little moon segment, just holler at that. You'll be able to actually peep at what's going on, and just do a little deciphering. So yeah, much love and holler back at me. Peace. You can holler at me for a reading at conscious1347@gmail.com. And that could be any type of reading. You know what I'm saying? Just let me know the info, and let me know your date of birth and time and your location, and then boom. You know what I'm saying? We on.